Hello, hello! My name is Emily Crow and I am from Crochet Creations. Welcome to my Crochet and Knitting Podcast, episode 10! Double digits. It is so exciting that we are here at episode 10, and it's been really great to see how many of you are interested in what I'm doing, and I am loving sharing with you guys. If you enjoy watching these podcasts, then definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can be notified every time I post a new video, as I do a podcast every other week, and on my off weeks, I also post videos, different yarn vlogs, product reviews. I have some tutorials even on my channel, all sorts of things in the realm of yarn goodness. So if that's something you're interested in, I would love for you to be here with me. Definitely make sure to like this video if you enjoy this, and comment down below and let me know if you're working on anything similar to me or if any of this sparks your inspiration. I love to have a chat down in the comments below, so definitely make sure to talk with me there. I think get started on first kind of news, but also moving into finished objects as well. My new Growth Dishcloth Set, that's hard to say, has been released. Ta-da! And it includes two different patterns, the Mossy dishcloth and the Seedling dishcloth. Just a second, I have to get my cat out of the room. We are back. So the new Growth Dishcloth Set contains two different patterns, the Mossy dishcloth and the Seedling dishcloth, using the moss stitch and the seed stitch respectively on the bias to make a square dishcloth. So these are really simple, beginner-friendly patterns. I walk you through how to actually do the increases and decreases for both of these dishcloths, and I even have a couple of photos to show you important points to pay attention within the pattern. Super easy. This inexpensive PDF is in both of my shops, in Ravelry and Etsy, but you can also find both patterns separately on my blog, and losing breath. And I'll make sure to link those down below as well if you were interested in seeing the free version from my blog for both the Mossy dishcloth and the Seedling dishcloth. As part of my FOs, I have made a whole bunch of these dishcloths, partly because I'm like having a hard time with all of them, partly because I wanted to do a couple extra photos and pictures, and just to make sure that I wrote the patterns out correctly. Since I didn't have any testers, since it was a pretty simple pattern, I figured I would just make it a whole bunch and double check all my numbers and stitches and such. I've got a couple Mossy dishcloths. You can really see the texture there, and the variegated looks really cool, I think. And I love how drapey and thin this fabric is, so this is perfect for like a face cloth, which is what I'm planning to do. I'm planning to make a whole bunch of these out of my stash yarn, especially the really softer cottons. This is some extra stash yarn I had that I want to really use up, and so would be really good for that. And then the other one, this is the Seedling dishcloth, and it's curling a little bit because it's not wanting to lie flat. But again, in that variegated and in the single color, you can see the stitches. Just nice, simple texture. It gives it a little bit stiffer, sturdier fabric for more like scrubbing, if you want to do that. So for like a body cloth or cleaning or rag, whatever you want to use it for. And I don't know if you'll notice, but the gauge is slightly different between these two yarns that I use, and that's totally okay. I wrote the pattern using this yarn in mind. If you want to use a different type of yarn, like this one must be a little bit thinner since it created a slightly smaller dishcloth with the same stitches and hook, then, you know, it's easy to adjust for size. If I wanted to add a few more rows to make this exactly the same size as my other dishcloths, I could, but I didn't care, so I didn't. So I've got a whole big pile of dishcloths. I've really been in a dishcloth mood, and I think it's partly because I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed. There's a lot going on, lots of little moving parts to keep track of, and all my other whips have been bigger projects that I'm kind of slugging through, or at least in the midst of, and so it's really nice to have a super quick, super simple, mindless project to work on. So I've been able to just work on a whole bunch of those, and so that's been really enjoyable. And most of my designs this year have been, I think of all my designs this year have been dishcloths. So I've made quite a few, and I have a couple more in mind, just because that's where my brain is, and that's what is bringing me joy in my craft. And I don't normally make dishcloths, so it's kind of funny that this is kind of what I'm sticking to. But I think that, you know, our interests and our desires and what fuels our knitting changes, and we go through different seasons, and right now I'm in a dishcloth season. So if you are too, I have lots of patterns for you to try. And moving into some other FOs, I don't have as many as I would hope for, and I'll get into more of that later, but I did in fact finish my fortnight shawl. Oof. It's so hard to show on camera. It's actually really big. Ugh. So big. It's honestly the perfect size for a scarf shawl combo. So beautiful. Look at that brioche. Oh, it's so pretty. I definitely need to do another brioche project ASAP. I was able to use up 2 different skeins of this rainbowy Caron Simply Soft yarn, and then I was able to make a dent in both the cream white, I think it's white and lavender blue, I think is this color for the others. And so this was a really great stash buster. It was a test for Knit Curious, and the pattern is now available. It's actually a pattern eligible for a specific make-along, so you'll have to check out our page to kind of see more details about that if you're interested in making it. But it works up honestly really quick. I had to kind of slug through the end because it just felt like the garter wings are taking forever, and I was also running out of time, so I think that didn't help me in enjoying my making because I knew I had a deadline to meet that was like cutting it really, really close. I'm glad that it's finished. And playing Yarn Chicken, it was really close. This pattern is normally written for bulky weight, and I used worsted, and it used just about 1 skein of the Caron Simply Soft, which was awesome to use that up. Super fast because it has this brioche panel in the middle. Super rhythmic, super intuitive too to work on. And then you pick up stitches and then do the wings, and so you are decreasing, which makes every row go just a little bit faster. So I had a lot of fun working on this. I learned a lot with this brioche panel. I want to work on more brioche. So let me know your brioche pattern suggestions down below if there's any that you think I should try. Sorry. So yeah, let me know your brioche pattern suggestions down below because I would love to try something else. Squishy and brioche. This is acrylic yarn, and so it doesn't block really like other natural fibers do, and so the drape is not necessarily my favorite, and I can't get this point to be as pointy as it would, but that's okay. I think it looks really good. I think it's really fun. The colors are very Eastery, and so I was a little bummed realizing I probably wouldn't have anything specific to wear for Easter next month, and then I have this, so it works out. Great stash buster, and I'm glad that I pushed myself to try some new skills for that. One new finished object that I haven't shown at all is actually, it's actually really big too, so I'll make sure to get a picture for you as well. You might think these colors look familiar. It's Ukrainian. If you haven't heard of Love Across the USA, they're a really cool organization run by London K, and what they do is they organize different artists to make pieces for murals to either make a statement or mostly to show some love and support for others. And so I was able to do this piece is part of a mural for Ukraine, and I'm not sure. My guess is based on the colors and also a little bit on the placement. I've got a little bit of yellow, is that this might be related to the coat of arms symbol that you might have seen around and showing support for Ukraine in what they're going through right now. And I know that this is not necessarily going to help them, but I hope that it brings hope and joy to those who see it, and to know that there are many people who are showing love and support for Ukrainians and what they're going through right now. And this in and of itself is not, raising them any money or directly helping them, but I hope it provides hope for them and that there are people on their side of the court who want to help them out, that they're not alone. This was a really fun project to work on, kind of a stash buster for this yellow, and then I bought the blue. I will leave the information down below so that you can get involved, be on the email list for next time they do murals. I'm sure that they will do one for Pride coming up in June, and other things going on. So make sure to get on that email list so that you have a chance to volunteer to participate in making their yarn murals, which is so fun. This is crochet. I'm not sure if they do any other crafting or if it really is just crochet, but so fun. I'm really happy I did it. You'll see all my ends are on the back. I did not have to weave them in, thank goodness. I had a lot of fun. It was a good mindless project that I'm really excited to be a part of since I've been eyeing love across the USA, and I'm happy to be a part of it this time around. So we are on our whips, works in progress. So let's see where to start. Oh, I want to show you how my Find Your Fate is going. I showed this last podcast and I'd only done like 2 rows. And so I definitely made a point to get more done on it. And I have the next color joined in. Ta-da! So pretty. So pretty. This is Sorella yarn in her fall tonals from this past year. This color is ceramic. And honestly, I didn't use very much of it, so I'm not sure if I'll have to use more of it on the other end of the shawl or not. I guess it depends on how my other colors do. And then this color is called Cashmere, this light purpley color. Muted purple. So pretty. I love these colors together. I am maybe 2/3 of the way through this garter section, and then I'll move on to lace. It's definitely not a priority project, but it's been fun to work on, you know, spend an hour or 2 here and there to just put in some more time, especially since I have gotten the hang of seeing this center decrease so that I don't need to have a marker in there anymore. It's a lot simpler and easier for me to just work on it and not have to mess with a marker or try to focus and figure out what I'm doing. So that's been really nice. And I hope to continue to have progress on it and to not let it go by the wayside, because I do want to finish it, but it's a ways away from finishing that. I don't have very many projects, I guess. Preface. I have a few custom orders for my market booth that I need to work on. I haven't started yet because I'm waiting for confirmation from my clients that the yarn choice I picked out works for them. And so I should actually text them back and get some of those taken care of. But in general, I'm really trying to whip down to take care of my projects so that I can clear off my plate, because I have something exciting coming up in the next a little bit. So I don't have a ton of whips to share, but I will share with you what I've got. This is the Daily Socks, a singular sock from the Daily Socks pattern. This is by Summerly Knits. I'm using Olivia and Oliver fibers in the color Eggnog, and I think this contrast mini is called Caramel, maybe? Such a yummy, warm color. And you see I've knit the leg. I am mostly done with the heel flap. Only a little bit left to go. I do like a shorter leg, though this might end up being a little shorter than I typically make, but we'll see. I guess it means I'll have a lot of my main color left over to make another pair of socks. I did 40 rounds. Well, I did 10 round cuff, 40 round leg. Now I'm on the heel flap. So I'm making some good progress on that. It's been nice to have something mostly mindless, but not just straight vanilla knitting. So that's been really, really nice. That's kind of where I'm sitting right now. Is nothing boring, but something that I can easily memorize and work on it without having to think too hard. That's been really nice. My last whip to show you is one I'm really excited about, and I think I've alluded to it in previous podcasts, but I have a knitting pattern. Let me show you. And I guess this is, I would call it a half-finished object, but I finished this sock a little while ago, and so I'm really only working on the second sock. But this is the first prototype for my pattern. It has not been blocked, as you can tell. I'm calling Mountains Call Socks. Mountains are calling and I must go. I changed the color work just a little bit on my second prototype, and this is how far I've got. Just past the mountain peaks, so it's a little hard to see. But I'm so excited for this design, and I will be doing a testing call soon. I'm not sure when, probably next week. I'm filming this on Tuesday. The video will come out Friday, so probably early next week you can see a testing call from me. I have charts written out for 10 stitches, 12 stitches, 14 stitches, and 16 stitches, so that this pattern can work for a variety of sizes and numbers, so that you can really customize it to your own fit and even make it as small as like a toddler sock. I have not started writing the pattern yet. I'm very intimidated about writing a knitting pattern. I've never done it before, and it definitely has a different style of writing to it than a crochet pattern. That's mostly what I'm working on. I really want to finish the color work within the next day or so. It's not been a super priority, especially with color work. It's hard to work on around my toddler because she kind of goes crazy around my yarn, and having to manage multiple strings is not good. What I'll do is, you know, when she's sleeping, I'll put in a little bit. I picked the second sock up. I'm about halfway through the color work on that, and so hopefully I can finish that within the next day or so and get started on really writing down the pattern. That is the hope. If you love the pattern, let me know. If you want to be notified of when I do the testing call, you can follow me on Instagram, because that's where the majority of my testing promotion will be. I will also send out a newsletter through my email, so definitely join the newsletter if you're interested in possibly testing that for me. I would love to have as much support as possible to make this a great pattern release, especially as my first knitting pattern. I'm excited about that, and excited that it is getting closer and closer to actually getting ready to put out into the world. Mountains Call socks, and I will be working hard to write up the pattern this week. I guess, no, I'll talk about it in Dreams and Plans. You'll have to keep watching in order to find out my big news. But I will talk about yarn goodies now. I got quite a few yarn goodies in the mail, which is so exciting. First, I want to share with you, I got some Sorella yarn. Oh, so pretty. This is her classic sport base, 100% superwash merino, and it is the color Catalina, and it's from the collaboration that Sorella Yarn did with TL Yarn Crafts. Such a pretty colorway. Sorry, the light is kind of blowing it out just like a little bit. That's a little better. That's better. But it's this beautiful pinky peachy, and then like a bright lavender, like a really warm lavender. Oh, so pretty. I am very excited. I bought this to use for the Fable by Alicia Plum. I think that's her name. I'll be making a lightweight top with this. I'm really excited to cast this on sometime, but I'm a little busy, so I don't think I'll cast it on right away. But I love these colors, very summery, and I'm really excited to make a summer top with that. And so that was from her Greatest Hits collection. All the favorites from last year. And then from a similar collection that Bulbury Fiber did, I ordered some things. And I got that in the mail yesterday, which is super exciting. I've got all sorts of things. You can kind of see my color palette is like warm neutrals, pinkies, reddies, yellowies. Is kind of where my color palette is right now, what I'm drawn to. This one's a little bit different. This is October. Maybe I'll put it in here in the shade so it shows up more true to color. Seeing this worked up, it is beautiful. The fallen leaves. I'm so excited. This will be great to work on in the fall. I also have Shop Around the Corner. So beautiful. Christmas cocoa. Can you tell I ordered this right around Christmas time? I have a lot of peppermint, chocolate, hot cocoa related colors in my stash. This one for sure. That one fits that color palette. Oh, this one too. I have a lot of Christmas-y yarn, which is exciting, so don't judge. Because I love Christmas and I love yarn. And they just bring me a lot of joy. So I'm excited to work on some Christmas-y things closer to the end of the year. And then this is called Vintage Ornament. So cool. This is a little bit different than what I normally do, but I didn't want to buy another sock set of very Christmassy colors because I have so many. So I bought something a little bit different, and I don't think this screams Christmas very much. So I could definitely work on that a different time of year too. But it's got a really nice warm beigey yellow base and this poppy red mini. So lots of fun yarns and a mix of sock yarns and things for bigger projects. But I got an order from Knit Picks, and it came in a box, which I don't think I've ever had a box. Oh wait, I have had a box order from Knit Picks, but that had a book in it, so. But this is an actual box order from Knit Picks. It is ginormous. It's so big. So let me show you what I got from Knit Picks, and I'll try not to make too much rustling noise, but I got more palette in the color Ice Lily, this mauve color, for my no frills sweater that I'm going to make by Petite Knit. It is gonna go with this beautiful Madeline Tosh mohair. I already did a gauge swatch with one skein of this, decided I did really like it. I got gauge, I liked how they look together, so I got a whole bunch more to make sure I can make that sweater. I also got a skein of Bare Knit Picks Stroll. And okay, I already wound it up because it didn't even come in a hank. It came like in a giant loop, like a hank would, but like folded on itself. And so it was super loosey-goosey, so I already caked it up. And I'm going to be using this for another knit sock design. Well, knit and crochet. It's a combo design. So that is my plan for that. I grabbed that as like the main color. And then I also grabbed, in order to get some free shipping, because that's what motivates me to fill my cart, I got some Snuggle Puff in the color Fawn. It is a heavy worsted or Aran weight. It is so soft. It's a cotton nylon blend. So soft. I think the nylon would help preventing it from stretching a lot over time, since cotton is a little bit heavy, and it's also kind of like a blown fiber, and so it feels pretty lightweight to me from my experience. And so I got a lot of that. I got a whole bag and then some. And this is going to become a campsite waffle cardigan by Alexandra Tavel of Two of Wands. It's going to be really warm because it's Aran weight, and so I don't know when I'll work on it, but I knew I wanted this yarn, so I figured I would just add it to my cart so I'd have it and be ready whenever I am going to come to that. Let's move on to dreams and plans and kind of what's happening in the future. So I've been alluding to it pretty much the whole podcast episode, but I got a very exciting email that 4 of my design proposals for a book of beginner-friendly crochet patterns has been accepted. Oh my gosh, so exciting. And so I can't share very many details. The book is hopefully coming out in fall 2023, which is a long ways away, but 4 of my design proposals were accepted for this book compilation, and so I've got 4 designs to do between now and May 10th is when I need to send them back. They're going to send me the yarn for it, and I'm going to be working really hard on these designs, and I can't show them to you until the book is about to come out. But so exciting. One of my goals for this year for my little business was to be able to do a collaboration of some sort, or to get published in some sort of publication besides my own self-publishing, and it's happening. I'm so excited and so grateful. Obviously I'm not gonna, can't go full-time with this, but it's giving me some fuel creatively to know that some people do like my designs and see potential in others wanting to make them too. So even after quite a few rejections and opportunities that didn't come through, I'm really happy about this one. And so because I have 4 patterns to design and create and mail back to the publisher by May 10th, I think it is, that I really need to clear my plate so I can focus on that. And I have, let's see, jacket, I think I have 3 custom orders through my market that I have to fulfill. Okay, and I said I wasn't gonna do any more custom orders, but when the people are really nice and they just want to like throw the money at me, they're like, just do it, then I have a hard time saying no. So that's what's happening. So I have 3 custom orders to fulfill. I have a couple of whips that you've seen. I have a couple of designs that are in the works, some smaller ones, but like that pair of knit socks is kind of a bigger thing. I have lots of things I want to make, lots of sweaters, my no frills, the oat using this yarn from Teeny Button I got like a month ago, lots of fun sock designs that I'm interested in making. Mezzo Makes is doing a make-along, and so I'm really wanting to do something with that, either for my stash or using some other teeny button yarn. There's just like so many things I want to make, and I'm really excited to be making things, and I have ideas for other designs I want to do that didn't get accepted or that I didn't feel like were appropriate for this submission call. And so there's so many things I want to do, and I really gotta be diligent and take care of these whips that I have so that I can have a free schedule so that I can work on these designs. I'm sure I'll be able to work on other things too. I'll definitely be able to share with you some things, but none of these 4 projects that I'm working on for the book. I won't be able to work on as much. I'm gonna have 1 or 2 projects on the side with my designs going on for the book at the same time, just so I don't have too much going on. So that's kind of what the next month or so is looking like for me. I really want to work through what I already have started to kind of clear off my plate, be ready mentally and physically to focus on these designs and be on top of them so I can be really proud of the product I put out. I can always have 1 or 2 things on the side, so I guess we'll see what I'll manage to fit in, but I really want to cast on a sweater. Either oat or no frills are kind of the 2 things I really want to do. A Mezzo Makes top for the make-along. There's too many options. Let me know what you think I should work on when I have kind of worked through some of these whips. I would love to be able to have a couple more finished objects by next time. They're drafting up contracts right now, and they'll be sending out the yarn, they said, sometime next week. And so I think I have about 2 weeks without a commitment that I can just go ham and do as much as I can on the projects I already have. I'm pretty close on my sock design as far as the actual making, and I'll try to knock out the design this week. And my Find Your Fade is going pretty simple, so I think I can get more progress on that. You know, my daily socks, I've got a few things that are not necessarily super close to being finished, but are close enough that I think I can at least have another FO or so. Next time, I might be able to cast on something new to work on as like my reprieve mentally from working on these designs. I'm so excited about that. And so I don't have any set dreams and plans this week because that is a huge dream of mine that is coming to fruition that I have a lot of energy going towards right now. And even more so when I get the yarn and I'm able to work on the designs. Hopefully I'll get some momentum and be able to design some other things that I can put out into the world sooner than fall 2023 for this book. What are you looking to see from me? What kind of projects have you been hoping I would start, since I've talked about my Make 9, my Stash Make 9, my Gift Make 9? I've mentioned dreams and plans for the past few podcasts. What would you like to see me cast on, or what do you think I would enjoy casting on? And it can be on those lists, or it can be something totally new. I'm always looking for inspiration, so definitely let me know if there's anything in particular that you think I should work on. I'm so grateful to see that this little business is growing and getting new opportunities, and I hope to continue to be able to have new opportunities. I also want to do a bookshelf tour for all my craft books that I've got, so I'm thinking that'll be the video I have going up next week. I also am interested in reorganizing my yarn stash because it is getting out of hand, and I'll definitely insert some b-roll so you can see. My hand-dyed yarn is kind of taking over my shelving over here, which is a great thing, but also things are getting messy. It's not as organized as it used to be. I've got a cubby over here for custom order type yarns and things that I've in the works that I'm thinking about, designs I'm thinking about, and it's like a big mess and things are falling out of it. I've got a box over there with some little pieces of mostly like scrap yarns I've started working through but haven't finished off, a couple like props and things. I've got a box over there that's like things that I was hoping to make for our market. I've got my stuff in the craft closet. Like, it's just getting really like out of hand, so I need to go through, organize. And so I might do an organization video if you're interested in that, so let me know if you would want to see me organize my yarn stash and kind of set things in order, or even it might be fun to do like a yarn stash tour, probably after everything's clean. Or I could do a hand-dyed yarn tour to show off what hand-dyed yarns I have and my favorite dyers that I have found right now. That would be super fun. So let me know if any of those videos are things that you would really enjoy seeing. This podcast is a lot shorter than I thought it would be. I think partly it's because I don't have as many FOs. I was spending a lot of time on that Fortnite shawl. It took a lot of time. And also, my daughter got a double ear infection right before the deadline for the Fortnite shawl. And so we've been kind of spending some focus and energy taking care of her. And thank goodness the medicine kicked in right away. And so we were able to get her feeling back to normal pretty quickly. That was kind of a wrench in the plan. That definitely ruined a couple nights of knitting that we spent, trying to get her to sleep. We had a few really rough nights. If you've ever had a kiddo with an ear infection, oof. So we have recovered. We've all slept really well the past few days. We are feeling great. Georgia is doing a lot better, which is really good. And so I'm kind of getting more time to crochet and knit back, which is good. Also, I think I said this last podcast, but all my projects are kind of in the middle of getting done. So they have quite a ways to go before I actually finish them. And so hence the dishcloths, because they're a really quick make, so I can get the satisfaction of finishing a project, even though most of my projects are a ways off from that. But I think I'll be able to finish some things for next time so that I can share some more with you and get excited to kind of shift my focus for these book designs. Super exciting. I'll have to kind of maintain some good balance between those designs and other things I'm working on, so I have things to share with you here on the podcast, and so that I have something to come back to when I really don't want to math anymore. Definitely let me know what you're working on. I love to hear about all the different whips and recent finished objects that you have, and let me know if there's anything you think I should cast on next, because I'm really itching to start a new project, something that I can be working on over the next month or so while I'm working on those designs. Oh, and definitely let me know if you like my new mountain sock design. I am really, really proud of myself, and I really hope that I can get this pattern written and ready to go for testers. I hope that wherever you are, that you are safe and well, and that you are enjoying lots of time stitching other things even that bring you great joy. And I will see you next time. Happy making. Bye.